Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks, where last week, believe it or not, Daddy picked 4 games and got all 4 right. I would say it was a perfect week of picks, if not for my incorrect statement in which I said Rico Dowdell was cutting through more yards avoiding defenders every Sunday than Puerto Ricans are avoiding ice the rest of the week, which is still funny. Several viewers were quick to point out, Geno, Puerto Rico has been a U.S. territory for decades, and they're all legal residents. Yeah, don't remind me. I mean, do you think I'm referring to our president's image every time I say Donald Trump has a PR problem? Kidding, but you do understand the jokes wouldn't work without that Rico Dowdell Puerto Rican swing on it. And speaking of swinging, Daddy teed off on Vegas with that perfect week to improve his record to a slightly only embarrassing 13-15, 46 against the Vegas spread. And speaking of which, I'm not saying it'd be smart to listen to me this week, but let's just say I'm doing a 1-hour lecture at Princeton this week. It's an aggressive TED Talk. Now let's see if we can make these 4 picks not smart your wallet come Tuesday morning. My first pick, the Patriots are laying a TD to the Browns in Cleveland. The starting QB for the Patriots may be named Drake May, but compared to the fact that he is definitely the guy moving forward in New England, the only name that is more off base is that of Cleveland quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who should be named Dylan Maybe. Can he complete a downfield pass? Maybe. Can he elude a pass rush? Maybe. Is he going to be the starter at the end of the season? Definitely. For no other reason than the front office of Cleveland refuses to put in Shedeur Sanders, and in doing so, admit they should have taken him before Gabriel. Has anyone watched this kid? I mean, you'd think he'd be smart enough to find a downfield receiver after spending the past 6 years in college. Trust me, at the end of this season, the Browns may finally admit they should have let him stay there for a 7th. Look for Mike Vrabel to stuff 9 men in the box and make things harder on Keyshawn Judkins than his mother filling out his birth certificate. It's hard to spell. Give me the Patriots. I'll lay the 7 in Cleveland. My next pick, the Bucs are giving 4 and a hook to the Saints in New Orleans. Hey, if I'm going to stay hot, I may as well go with what's working, which is why all of you sticklers from last week can relax, as that will keep me from mentioning Puerto Ricans in this joke. I mean, especially when there's so many other minorities to get into this melting pot of ours, like Cubans, who arrived in America the same way the Saints arrived at their woeful 1-6 record, surrounded by a bunch of confused people on something that's barely keeping them afloat. The only difference is the Saints coaching staff has nearly as many holes in it as the screen door those Cubans came floating over on. Baker Mayfield's coming off a short week and a terrible loss, but that was a loss to a Lions team that came within 3 games of the past 2 Super Bowls. The Saints are just the team that lets the other 31 teams use their stadium to play that big game every year. The Saints are just the thing the Bucs need to right their ship. Take TB, lay the 4.5, and you'll be jolly that you did, Roger. Jolly right. These people, this stuff's wasted on you, Lisa. My next pick, the Titans are getting, what are they getting? A 14 from the Colts in Indy. Yes, the Colts just beat down my Bolts by the same 14 points a week ago. So why am I taking the Titans in this one? Because here's one thing the Titans and Bolts have in common. They're both 1-3 over the past month. And while the Bolts won the first 3 of their games, the Titans lost their last 3. But the Titans are starting the same team they were 7 weeks ago, while the Bolts are literally on their 7th string left tackle. Not making excuses, but as bad as the Titans are right now, they're used to playing the Colts, and they will not let a division rival blow them out any more than the Colts will care what they do in that final quarter. Expect to see the Titans in garbage time as Cam Ward connects with Calvin Ridley, who should give his agent 0 after putting him on this terrible team. Also, does anyone like that new thing where a player can wear the number 0? You should only be able to wear that number if that's the number of felonies you have or the number of children you fathered out of wedlock. It's almost as annoying as the guy that puts the 3rd on the back of his jersey. You should only be able to do that if you can find either one of the first 2. Where was I? Oh, yeah. The Titans dumpster fire tends to glow in garbage time. Give me the Titans, and I'll take the 14 points I'm getting. Which brings me to my double your money Monday night bet. The Commanders are getting 12 and a hook from the Chiefs in KC. Yeah, I know Jaden Daniels is out, but really, Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are back, and Marcus Mariota knows how to find big targets with great hands. Still, Vegas knows you're more focused on Rashid Rice being back in KC with his 2 receiving TDs last week. Really, it was only one, with the other being one of those shovel passes that are so cheap, they should be called a TD score. Kidding. Hookers aren't cheap. And speaking of hookers, Commanders head coach Dan Quinn made his bones, see what I did, in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball, which is why I look for him to have a plan this game to keep the game much closer against the Chiefs team that I'm still not sold on. Although I will apologize for associating them with whores to the whores, because any whore could have finished off Trevor Lawrence in 3 minutes. Look for another zero. This kid, Mike Sanistro, shout out Curtis John, and his pal Marshawn Lattimore on the other side to keep this one closer than Vegas would like you to believe. I'll take DC and the 12 and a hook I'm getting. Let's see if we could do 4 more straight. Make it 9. Those are Geno's picks.